Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Readaway's video blog of Mary Sky, also known as Fleet Admiral Krabby McCoffee. Now, I would like to share my thoughts on something after I've been digging deep for answers, okay? I'm going to tell you about a couple of neighbors I have for starters. One neighbor claims Donald Trump, he's not going to live in the next 4 years. You know, he's just going to end up with a stroke or heart attack, fall over, and that's it. We get J.D. Vance. Now, I don't like to talk about the demise of people, okay? To me, I was asking people's opinions around our apartment complex, such as, you know, government subsidized, and I hear all these people coming to me and they're pissing me off. So yesterday I had a therapist appointment. And my therapist was asking me a serious question. Now, the question is, how bad was 4 years, right? They say, here's what I'm going to tell you. There's two sides of the story, okay? You got one side, right? And by the way, I'm going to talk about Bob Woodford for a minute too, for his video. He made a video the other day, like saying, well, it's a glorious day in America, we have Donald Trump, right? And all this. And people are sitting there going, you know, calling Bob Woodward a narcissistic, wealthy piece of crap who wants to sell books. So he wants to keep that door open for Donald Trump again. I don't know about you in book sales. And by the way, I'm going to have to take a poll tomorrow because my Woods coffee, yeah, that's what it's named, Woods coffee. See, it says Woods Coffee Outdoors Blend, or the Woods Blend. Pretty good too. Very good coffee. It's out. So, I want to share with you a couple things I've been thinking about, okay? Something that bothers me, alright? Now, here's what's bothering me to no end, okay? I'm going to talk about both sides of the aisle today, okay? And what went wrong, alright, in the election. Now, I'm not an election expert. Well, I could be because I follow politics so much. But there was people out there, okay? And I got to give them credit, alright? Now, I don't watch news. I won't touch the news. I find the news to be disgusting, okay? The reason for it is because it is all garbage, alright? My adopted mother said that they want to take away transgendered health care and rights in Canada next year if they get the Conservative Party. And it made me think, you know. So she was talking about, what was it she was doing? I think it was bathroom breaks, right? I think it was about bathroom breaks. But anyways, bathrooms, school bathrooms, that's fine. I mean, literally, I don't think a kid who's got a wiener, who's a boy, should go into a woman's bathroom. Now, people ask me, you know, like my mother says, you have gray hair, you're an old lady. Am I a threat? No. Do I talk to kids about having transgender health care? No. I find myself, you know, and as my father-in-law would say, why would the government go after anyone like me is because I'm bored, okay? Yeah. Now, there's people the government should go after, but it shouldn't be me. Remember, in the 4 years when we had Donald Trump, I never said anything negative, you know. Most times I was managing the things for stimulus checks, alright? A lot of people ask me, was the 2024 election stolen? Negative. It was not. It was a clean campaign. The cleanest I've ever seen in my own life, okay? Now, let me just say, when 2020 claimed that it was going to be a red wave, it wasn't. When 2022 came, they claimed midterms, it was going to be a red wave, it wasn't. There was a lot of pissed off people between 2020 and 2024 that really wanted a red wave, and they delivered. And I don't hold them accountable. Well, I do hold accountable, but I'll explain why. Okay. Now, I've been looking at different information in the world. Okay, and there's two sides of the story. Okay, you got Fox and Sky. Sky News is owned by Rupert Murdoch in Australia. They can say whatever they want. They're Australian. Fox, of course, they have to tone down things over the $797 million lawsuit. Was it frivolous? Maybe. Maybe they had something. I mean, look. I mean, the courts literally ordered Donald Trump to give up a lot of money, and the courts ordered Rudy Giuliani too. Now, let me tell you, did Rudy Giuliani deserve to be completely stripped of everything? No. I mean, I'm sorry to say the guy didn't deserve to be stripped of everything. But a lot of people say, oh, you're wrong. He basically, yeah, I mean, look, some of these things are stupid, alright? But let's just get down to brass tacks of what I think, alright? Because a lot of you people have been saying, what is my thoughts, okay? Besides, regrouping, okay? Let me tell you the story about the neighbor upstairs. So he thinks either Donald Trump's gonna be pushed out in 2 years because he's too old, Vance will take over, because he's mentally declining. I mean, what is it with these people? First, it's Biden. I mean, look, I'm sorry to say, okay, Biden, people say, what is my true opinion of Biden? I don't have one, alright? Personally, I've seen enough political commentary on both sides, okay? Now, I like to be neutral, alright? I try to be neutral. Fortunately, sometimes, Now, the other day, Chloe, let me tell you about Chloe. Okay, Chloe's hurt, right? We gotta let her be hurt. We gotta let her mourn. Most of the island voted for Kamala Harris, okay? And they always talk to me about politics. They couldn't believe it. There's some Trumpers. Now, let me tell you what is wrong with my neighbor, okay? As I told Zoe the other day, my neighbor, and she's met my neighbor, by the way, before anyone says anything bad, he took an American flag and put a knife and a sword in it. Management took pictures and sent it off to wherever they sent it, right? But it was making a political statement, and they don't like it. Now, I'm not going to say F America because I love America, okay? America's got its quirks. I'm not against America, alright? I will tell you, from my experiences, because there's people out there that use YouTube as their platform, and they make money off of it. They make a boatload of money off of it, right? These are what I would call, some of them be called the enemy within. You can say, well, how come? Alright, look. When I do political videos, it's mostly of different things, but you have to basically step back, okay? I've consumed so much videos that I'm in shock, okay? My data, my polling, everything I've done said we were going to have a female president. Were we ready for one? Well, let me put it this way, alright? But first, I want to tell you my side of the story. What happened, okay? With all the polling and all this data, right? You got two sides of a story. You got my family in the Trumpers who I don't know how to put it, who believes everything's false, okay? And then they say, well, have you done your research? No, not really. Don't really care. Don't want to turn the TV on. Don't want to hear Donald Trump every day now. So there's a lot of people that won't tune in for maybe 3 years before they find out who the next president is. And then they may just sit on the couch anyways. That's what happened, right? So, and then you have me. Shocked. Alright? And then I got neighbors, alright? And then I sat there thinking to myself, right? My manager said we are either going to get Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Change any way you look at it. We may not like this change. But as I was looking over some of the things, right? Now, there's a lot of left-wing propaganda out there. I'll admit it. Now, there's a lot of people that consume that. They consume it to counter the negativity of the movement of Trumpers, right? The Republicans. Or as they say, the new MAGA movement, right? I'm not a MAGA, never will be. But I will not stand around and say, what I've seen on Instagram or YouTube, where one called it USA Blue States and something else, for the rest of it was basically like Stupid Stan or something, so every other red area in the country is Stupid Stan, and the little blue dots are real America. Because apparently the Democrats are real America. Some of the Democratic values, literally, look. There was 3 things on the ballot this year, alright? One was abortion. Kamala Harris, remember, I said that this was the only one she was running on. She had these concepts, ideas of $50,000 for jobs and $25,000 for businesses. Sorry, new business. $25,000 for a house. Okay. Now, a lot of people turned around and they're like, no. But then again, you got to ask yourself, you Republicans, how is she going to pay for it? She never said how she was going to pay for it. But does the president really control the price of groceries? No. Now, on my island, pricing is high because we have to bring it in by ferry. Will it ever change? No. And that's why a lot of people are complaining about when they order, Amazon. It takes 8 to 11 days here. Yeah, that's from processing to finishing. Now, let me tell you something. I was talking to Zoe last night or yesterday, and she says one of my special features is pricing. That's true. I always talk about pricing. Like how I was telling her that I need to get more pricing on food, because a lot of people are saying to me, your health has gone down the toilet a bit eating, right? Now, when this goes up 2 or 3 times because they cut us off on wheat because we don't grow enough wheat in this country, then I'll have to switch to something else. But if they really do control, let me put it this way, okay? The left-wing media, right? The propaganda, right? They're propaganding that either Trump's gonna pass away in 2 years or 4 years, and we'll get Vance. And then you hear these people like these things, Big Johnson talking, blowtorching the on TV, blowtorching the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. Well, right now, the medical sucks. Okay, it sucks big time. Let me tell you, most doctors don't want to take Medicare, and most doctors don't want to take Medicaid. Most doctors don't even want to take Medicare Advantage Part C plans. Now, I'm good at numbers, okay? And you could sit there and say, well, why don't they want to do it? It's the cost, okay? My surgery was like, this surgery here, for the hernia, can't pull it up, it wouldn't be appropriate, costed a lot of money. They only paid, out of all of it, $200 to the doctor. To, and the anesthesia was $14. You tell me. Now, is it broken? Maybe. But apparently, that is one of the problems. The second problem is the pharmaceutical companies are angry because, you know, the government capped insulin. Well, I'm not a diabetic yet, okay? Chloe may. She eats a lot more candy than me. That was another thing I was talking to Zoe about. Is Chloe consumes a lot more sugar than me, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of candy. Heck, I'm not a big fan of sugar-free coffee, dry coffee creamer. But my therapist dropped it off yesterday before my appointment. Didn't know it, so when I went to walk Moppy, there was 5 jars of sugar-free hazelnut. Now, I was just thinking of this morning going to get a gallon of milk. Now, as a prepper, you all know that milk is very expensive here. You're looking at $6 to $8 a gallon. That's why you get a better deal at Costco. I would love them to just put a Costco on the side, but nope. So let me tell you what I've seen from the left the last 3 days, literally. All right, and this is my channel, so I want to share with you some stuff that I've been thinking about. All right, yeah. You see, there's a lot of propaganda out there, and I don't like it. You know, you got one guy talking about grow your own food, start a community, read your Bible, arm yourself, and protect yourself from uh, the enemy, which he claims is the U.S. government. Right? This is a Republican turned Democrat. Yeah, and then you have all these other Republicans turned Democrats in red states talking about how they're disappointed in Americans who sold up their democracy for a loaf of bread. Now, I think it's funny. Okay, I really do. That's why I bring it up. Or the price of eggs were too much. The um, or the bag of groceries was too much. Look, I told this lady last night, my other neighbor, who is not supposed to talk to me. She literally stopped me because the manager is out and asked me my opinion of it. She said, "Look," she says, "you didn't listen to me." I said, and I quote, "I'm an ex-Jehovah Witness." Okay, I told you that Donald Trump will be not convicted. We never talked about his being convicted. I told the lady at the gas station he'll never be convicted. He will not be tried, and he will basically return to the White House because the redneck hilljacks, her opinion, not mine, don't want anyone to be accountable, so they want to see a religious person walk down the street or black or Latino or whatever and just beat the shit out of them. And that is wrong, and wrong can be. I mean, she's saying that he's going to allow it. Now, I'm sorry to say, but look what happened to the Black Lives Matter movement, right? The movements for that Floyd guy. I mean, he was on drugs maybe, and he tried to restrain them, and well, yeah, and so, I mean, it's, to me, it doesn't pay to watch the news. No, it doesn't. It just makes you get angrier. And these left-wing nut jobs. I mean, I sent the videos to 3 friends of mine, right? Chloe's like, right on. Chloe's mom's like, talking about it. My dad's the same, right? Oh, a fourth. Fourth person I sent it to said, this ain't right. You know, this guy is sitting there saying the American people sold the country up because the price of groceries, and they want lower gas. Well, we'll see what happens and what plays out in 4 years, okay? Because the price of gas is still up there, and the price of groceries is still up there. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, look, by all accounts, right? I don't have facts. I haven't fact checked yet, but apparently, supposedly, the United States is pumping more oil out in anywhere in the world. If that's the case, then why is the price going down? Well, OPEC controls the pricing of fuel, so they're not going to be undercut by the United States of America. That's the thing. Yeah. So, the price of gas. I mean, I just can't believe all these right wing nut jobs talking about things. Now, I'm good with numbers. So, let me tell you my opinion. It goes like this. What's going to happen in the future? I don't know. But 4 years ago, we got Biden. People were voting Biden in. Maybe the election was stolen. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was stolen. I said it once. I said it many times. It probably wasn't stolen. People were just fed up. But everything that happened was Biden claims he turned it around. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But the problem with Biden is he didn't speak more to his people. He stuttered. He had brain farts. They threw Kamala Harris in 107 days before election, and we didn't have a primary. We didn't get to say, hey, this is, instead, they threw her in there. And the American people were like, look, the ones that stayed home are probably the ones that would have said, look, you threw our Biden out, we ain't voting at the polls. And that's probably what happened. Yeah. But people that voted and voted all across the country, yeah. To me, it was a clean election. I mean, the only thing I was complaining about on election night is how come the red was filling up faster. And then I hear from Chloe's mom that 33 million ballots went missing and they're still trying to find them. I can't prove that's true or false. Yeah, I'm not going to look it up. Alright? So here's what I say. You got these people. They turn around. They claim Donald Trump's going to be impeached. Maybe, maybe not. They claim he's going to have a stroke or heart attack from too many burgers. Maybe, maybe not. But then these blue. I'm gonna have to do some research, but I think it's called left wing people. He claims the left are the enemy within. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Okay, now let me tell you why I don't watch the news, because every time I watch it, they have to basically post crap like, you know, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump did that, but they never posted anything about Biden that much. Yeah, it upset me. And then you got these guys, all these people writing books about the death of democracy and everything this, and we're protecting our country, and the right is the radical right, and yada yada, right? They're all saying all this crap, right? Maybe. But the question is, what side of democracy do you want to be on, people? Do you want to be on the side of democracy like a crazy neighbor who consumed 4, 8, 12 years of the Midas Touch and Mr. Dalmore and all these other plays, Luke Beasley and David Packman, and I mean, look, to me, they're all pretty damn useless and worthless, in my opinion. I told my friend this, the one that Zoe met, Mr. Crazy, because they claimed they had all the numbers and polling, right? I was following everything from right wing, left wing, central, just to control to fill in my own data, and I thought America was ready for a female, but a lot of people turned around and they're like this, okay? Remember, the other reason I went neutral, okay, and it irritated me to no end was this, okay? And I hope Higgins can understand why I'm irritated, alright? It wasn't about who won and who lost. What upset me the most is I don't want people to tell me and to dance and sing in happiness about Donald Trump. I don't want people to sing and dance and be happy for Kamala Harris. I was basically pissed off at the polling, and all the data that I collected was basically a waste of time when, you got someone sitting there, and when I say to Higgins, and he emails me, I'm trying to educate you. I don't need to be educated because everything from every side is pretty utterly crap, okay? That's plain and simple. If you look at it, the pollings, they lie. They're literally lie, right? I mean, look at it. They're like the Latino voters were for Kamala Harris. The black women were for Kamala Harris. The white women for, So when you look at it, there's black women out there right now, beautiful African Americans. They're pissed. They went to the polls in droves, following the advice. They were told, if you don't get up and defend womanhood because you bleed, you're going to have to deal with abortions, right? Or not abortions. You're going to have to deal with the abortion bans and deaths, right? They go out in droves. Then they see the polls, the exit numbers. White women for Trump. Half the white women stayed home. They were furious. They were like, the white people betrayed us. The white people betrayed us because they want supposedly a racist. But let me tell you my opinion of this country, okay? And it ain't racist, but I'm going to tell you a few stories today, okay? And I want you guys to resonate while we have coffee time this morning with reading, because I have experiences where you guys don't, okay? One jack monkey asked me, what do I do for work? I don't. I'm disabled. Alright, I'm going blind. Alright, my hearing shot. My neighbor yelled at me last night for apparently being loud in the parking lot because I can't hear. So I had to file a grievance against her. But here's the kicker that scares me the most. The American people are sitting there being spoon-fed lies from one party or another, right? And I'm not going to basically go in and say, but when they say the enemy within, maybe he wants to eliminate all Democrats and make them all MAGA robots. I don't know, okay? But I'm not going to basically hold him accountable, okay? He's not accountable to the American people. And yet the American people spoke. Am I pissed? Of course I am. All my data and polling, right? Guess what? The guy that forecasted his 13 keys went down the toilet. Chloe and I have been talking about that. He claimed he's got this thing, right? He claims, now he's backpedaling, right? Just to try to sell books, and people are like, give it up, old man, you're 80 years old. Your family's finished. And then you got Bob Woodford, who writes books about Donald Trump. I'm reading it again. And what's he saying? Oh, well. Then they do an interview, 30 minutes. He basically backpedals again. It's like, look, you may backpedal to a point. And then there's the people like Chloe's mom, okay? Chloe needs to get out of the country. Well, moderator Pee Wee would agree to that one. She doesn't like Chloe, but for good reason. Fortunately, Chloe's disabled, right? So Chloe gets a passport. Mom pays for it, right? And says, just skip over to the border, you know, go to Canada. Okay, let's talk about Canada, for example. My adopted mother messaged me last night. Canada may change over to a full conservative government, which means even under the consent of the king, they basically, he gets in as prime minister after Justin Trudeau. What happens? He can strip all the transgendered rights. That's what Mama Danielle was telling me. Is it safe to go to Canada? No. I mean, you can go there and visit, but now here's where the left is getting to be pissing me off, okay? Now they're sitting there, right? And they're doing the stupidest stuff in the world. Literally. It's like they want these people, I feel, remember January 6th, the insurrection, and they claimed the election was stolen and people got killed and Donald Trump wasn't held accountable and blah, 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 blah. Well, let me tell you my opinion on these leftists, alright? I think, right now, these leftists, not me, I'm harmless. All I want to do is read my books, play my video games, drink my beer, yes, eat my food, and live, okay? Whoever's president doesn't matter to me, right? Because in my opinion, both parties are useless. Because in my opinion, I only have certain fears, okay? We all have fears. But to sit there and to tell the left saying that all transgendered healthcare is going to be taken, well, it already is, pretty much. You can get therapy and you can get hormones. They're not doing surgeries. And yet, there's going to be a nationwide ban on sex changes. Can't be a nationwide ban on sex changes. Doctors would appeal it. Why? Because doctors make hundreds of thousands of dollars. It takes their little weenie and make it into a cooter. Or big, big money. Take your cooter and give you a weenie. You see? Point is, it's money, okay? But here's the thing that I've been thinking about. Alright, something that's logical. That these left wings, remember, my story goes like this. Okay, I'm going to tell you it now so I can get back on track. When I was living, right, in Woodinville, in Everett, Quincy, Moses Lake, had to go to the welfare office. Yes, I'm poor. Back in the day, before I got disability, it was like $600 in food stamps. That's not bad, right? Fortunately, here's the kicker. Back in my day, you couldn't buy soda with it. Now you can. Yeah, you go figure, right? I guess the pop companies, the soda companies, said, hey, this ain't right. It's considered a consumable. You should put EBT. Now you can go to Amazon and look around and say EBT acceptable. Yeah. Because of it. Now, maybe the government, maybe under the Trump administration, he'll take away the EBT's availability for Amazon for delivery. But, Amazon's getting a big kickback from the government. You get membership, 50% off if you have a food card. Now, you're saying, okay, what's this have to do with things? Let me tell you. When I was in the welfare office turned around and had a lot of African Americans, had a lot of Latinos, had a lot of illegals. Now you're saying to me, what's the point? I'll tell you the point. Point is, they come up here for a better life. We, the Democrats, supposed to be open-minded to this. And what happens? They make me, now I'm not a racist here, I'm not a white supremacist, but I do have an opinion. They make me wait 5 to 7 effing hours to be seen to get $40 of food stamps at the time. Yeah. Well, they're walking out in leather coats, gold chains, driving caddies, Corvettes, very expensive town and country minivans, 5 kids, fur coats. Now, let me show you. This is tattered, see? This is tattered. 20 years old. Do you think I'm going to get rid of my... No. I got this. I got 4 of them. 3 of them got ruined over the years. This last one. JCPenney. $20 each. People say to me, right? That it's wrong, right? Yeah. They say, oh, you're racist, right? Really? If I am racist, okay, let me tell you another story, alright? You go into the Social Security office. There's more Latinas and African Americans trying to get on disability. And you're sitting there with the ticket number for hours. And they're going first. They weren't there first. They go up to the booth and do. And then they get seen first. Well, because of whatever, see? So to me, it may be a blessing that Donald Trump's here, but will he change the rules? Maybe. Maybe he's going to have a phone number where it says for whites press 1, for Latinos push 2, and for African Americans press 3. And if you push 1 and you give all your info, maybe they'll be like, oh, fast forward, you get in within 5 or 10 minutes, where the others, they can wait. I mean, literally, you go to a welfare office, see how packed it is at times. Sometimes, I mean, look, let me put it this way. When Chloe was in Seattle, okay, they told her she wasn't African American enough or Latino enough to get an apartment. Now what? Now maybe we need to ban critical race theory. I don't know what it is, okay? Maybe I'm the dumb one, but, you know, all these people, you know, oh, they're going to do this and that. These people are putting fear into people. Here's what I say, okay? Here's what I say, alright? Do you think our president-elect really has an enemies list? Maybe. Who knows? I'm not going to challenge him, okay? My thing is you hear these people, like the right-winged Trumpers, okay? Like my moderator, tell me when Biden gets in, we're all going to be rounded up, thrown in the cattle cars, and hauled off to camps and be killed. Then you got these people saying that Project 2025, they're going to implement it, they're going to push it, they're going to make it so transgender health care is gone. It's already gone, so what's the point? I'm an advocate for the trans community. Let me tell you, they can't get surgeries covered on Medicare or Medicaid. Wow. Why? Don't know. Half the ACA was gutted. Okay, cool. See, a lot of trans people are pissed about it. I understand your pain. We all have to work together in some way, shape, or form. Keep advocating, right? Then you hear trans people shouldn't be in women's sports. I support that one. Everyone knows I support it. Then people call me a bigot. I mean, look at my adopted mom. She turns around. She says, well, that's a good one. Huh. Or trans kids using the other bathroom. And then, you know, but then again, each state's a little different. State laws put it into place. Now, you can do an executive order, but the states supersede it to a point. So, you know, the state of Washington can sit there and say, no, you can use the bathroom that you feel comfortable as a trans kid. And, yeah, I mean, and you can use kids' sports. I mean, to me, I don't support the thing because I don't support transgender care. Now, I will say again that the Donald Trump's, and I'm not giving him any flack or anything. Okay, what I'm saying is his campaign about backroom sex changes and cafeteria stuff. No. Being under the umbrella, I can tell you, it has to be done in a hospital setting, and you have to have certain criteria before they'll cut off anything or surgery. Yeah, so it didn't happen. Now, having people say, well, transgender healthcare is going to be banned, maybe, maybe not. I mean, I would say give them hormones if you're over 18, but what are you worried about? I mean, literally, what are you truly worried about, you know? A lot of people say they're afraid of trans people. Now, you know what I'm afraid of? And I'll tell you. I'm pissed off at the American people on both sides. You see, let me tell you something that's very important, right? My family wants me to be independent. Free. I feel free. But I don't feel free when I got, no offense to Higgins, Pee Wee here, or Zoe, but I'm the grief counselor for everyone in this building that's panicking about what Donald Trump's going to do. One guy just said it's going to be a roller coaster. It'll be fun. Let's see what he does, right? Another person said, well, he'll either pass away of a heart attack or stroke. We'll get Vance. It'll be fun. The others, the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. Zoe knows who I'm talking about. The Jehovah's Witnesses. They're all afraid they're going to be rounded up, put into camps, concentration camps, reprogrammed or killed. Now, let me tell you what my father said, okay? Because I think he's losing it. And I think Chloe's mom's losing it too, and that's where I draw the line. You know, you've heard my stories with the welfare. Do I think they should? No. Do I think that we're in a financial crisis? Here's what I really, truly hate, okay? That I hate. The most important thing, and I hope Donald Trump's watching this video and hearing me and listening to me plead, because I'm a good person. But the homeless population needs to be fixed, literally, and the mental health. Now, let me tell you what I think, okay? Homeless population needs to be fixed because everyone deserves 3 hots and a cot. Fortunately, you got these bigwig oligarchs, billionaires, that basically build this and do that, and then they basically move people and do that, and then the homeless have to be rerouted, and then some churches basically shut their business down because of whatever, right? Yeah. And then what happens? Nothing. Yeah. So, yeah. And then you get these people that fear. I mean, look at my aunts, okay? My cousin Dinky, I love Dinky. Love you very much, Dink. And you too, Corey. At least my ears were bleeding all about Kamala Harris. And then my aunt said, if we're lucky, we'll get Donald Trump. She said, if. She didn't have faith. My sister Teddy said Kamala's going to win hands down. Me? I thought, maybe the American people are ready for a woman. But they're only wanting a woman that's got fake boobs and blonde hair and dressed like bimbo, probably. That's what the men want. I don't know what the women want. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there as a joke, okay? But anyways, it was a sexist joke, probably, or what a man would think. But honestly, the thing is you see these people, okay? And people say to me, do I support illegals? No, I don't. I mean, if I have to wait 5 hours on the phone to the welfare office because all the illegals want to know where their check is, and then, let me just tell you what upset me the other day when my husband was alive, bless his heart. TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, $1,000 per person, per family member. So if you had 9 people escaping from Mexico for whatever reason, that's $9,000 a month. While people like me getting $40 in food stamps. I mean, literally, this was 20 years ago, okay? Yeah, 2002, 2004, 2006. You don't sit there and say, oh, well, trust me, I'm speaking my mind, okay? Chloe and I talk a lot, and we both agree that some of these illegals, or all of these illegals, you come to our country, you freeload off us. And it's not right. My sisters, my family, they say, people like the elderly are struggling. They can barely feed their medicines. They can barely get food. And yet, and I'm going to tell you something, okay? We have groups here. We have groups here, right? Like a family resource centers on our islands that helps with programs, right? They used to give food for struggling people. They don't do it anymore. They used to help with glasses. They don't do it anymore. They do, yes, see? Then they refer you to the Lions Club. They don't do glasses once you go off island to a different Lions Club. They do hearing aids. Now these may not be the most feminine glasses, but I am gonna get new lenses in these ones, and the lenses and the glass frames are gonna be cleaned up because I don't want to pay for another pair of glasses, glass bodies. I like these. They're mine. My personality. I got a little Ben Franklin glasses, but these ones I can see crystal clear. Okay. And yet, they don't cover eyeglasses. They don't cover hearing aids. They don't cover dental and Medicare. Yet you have to go through certain programs, and if you qualify, and you're under the threshold of 300% under the poverty, I think, or now it's 200%, you can qualify for Medicaid, and that covers hearing, dental, vision. But the vision, you get to choose. They let you choose from a set of glasses that prisoners make in prisons. Think about it. Think about it, my friends. Think about it. I mean, I've been through a lot being disabled, okay? I've been through presidents and presidents and presidents. And now we get to the crux of the last part. So I can get dressed soon and do other things to this morning. And I want to share with you something important. You see, all these left-wing crapheads, they take portion of the story. Donald Trump's going to admit 41 promises when he gets in, right? My father-in-law tells me this, okay? This is my father-in-law, right? This is how stupid he is. He talks about how he wants Donald Trump toast. And I mean, literally, you know, his freedom of speech, he claims Donald Trump should be in a pine box. And he's a minister of God, okay? A minister of God. All because, Donald Trump got away with all this crap. Look, maybe it was a witch hunt. I'm not going to sit and dig through all the information and just come on YouTube and say, oh yes, it was a witch hunt, okay? Maybe I will one day when I'm regrouping, okay? But right now is not the time. Now, let me tell you. To have Chloe's mom worried that Chloe's going to be rounded up and killed. I mean, look, I said it in my previous videos, okay? Is he a dictator? He could be. I said could. There's a lot of people out there pointing he's going to be a dictator. Who knows? There's all the left-wing media, right, claiming he's a dictator. Maybe what it is the people sitting at home on their couches, maybe they're secret Trumpers, but they couldn't vote because the machines were broken or whatnot or whatever. I don't know, right? They're claiming the Democrats all sat at home, right? Maybe, just maybe, they saw my video, unlikely, but here's my theory, okay, for putting out there for why the election went to Donald Trump. It was because the Democrats are fed up with their politicians. Think about it. Politicians come in and say, oh, we got to give $6 billion to Ukraine. We need, before Donald Trump gets into office, because they need that money, and the taxpayers can afford it. And yet, remember what I just said 20 years ago. $40 in food stamps. Had to wait 8 hours for it. Every 6 months. $1,000 per illegal, per family member. plus food stamps, plus housing, plus medical, plus dental. Well, they tell me I bring in too much money on disability. You know what? I think what Donald Trump's gonna do, and if he does do mass deportations, I support him. Because frankly, our country can't support these illegals. They're getting everything. And then they collect, on top of that, a paycheck. Now, I've seen illegals back in the day, this was a long time ago, we couldn't figure out how to report it. They'd go in and they'd work as a migrant farm worker. They'd get sick, or they would get an accident. Accident. Next thing you know, they're on L&I or Social Security for the rest of their life, disability. And you walk down the street and they're playing basketball or football with people. And they're claiming their arm doesn't work or their legs don't work. This is the crap I've seen myself. So to me, to say deporting them, yeah, I've heard people say that he's going to deport all the African Americans, make them slaves. Then they said, and I quote, these left-wing media nut jobs, like the Midas Touch and others, that he's going to denaturalize citizens. If an American like me is born in America, do you think you, the viewer that supports my channel by watching me, do you really think I should be denaturalized? No, they're talking about the ones that came into the country. I mean, look, all these people, you know, they say, oh, the economy will tank because of it. Look, you get farmers that are paying peanuts on the dollar. Why is he doing it? Because he doesn't want to go out. He's got some of these farmers have money. And what do they do with their money? They hoard it. And they hire illegals, thinking, okay, I can get away with it. Tax season, they get special permits, whatever, they hire. Problem is, from what I understand, they're being so frugal, they don't want to spend $100, $200, $300,000 for a new tractor. You can just pick up all their crops along the way. That's the problem. So when they say, oh, crops are going to be a problem, we can make a deal with the farmers to give them an incentive to keep our food supplies going. In return, they get a new tractor that does all the job, replacing the farmers. It's like semi-automation. No, I may be done. Maybe I'm wasting taxpayer money, but that's one thing that popped into my head, okay? Now, about Project 2025, no one knows what he's going to do, okay? You go on these left-wing media and they say, see this clip? And you see a clip, and it says something like Project 2025, right? And then some guy posts, some radical person on X posts, and the Americans are too stupid to realize what we're implementing for them. Well, that guy's not part of the administration. I mean, literally. Now, if it comes true, then you gotta worry. But right now, don't worry. I mean, look. Let me put it this way, alright? Over the years, I'm almost 50, okay? I can basically be proud that I'm 50. We have a House and Senate, right? They're filled with Democrats and Republicans. Now, I don't know how many of them are extremist MAGA, as these people say. They're people too. Maybe people don't like MAGA for their own reasons. But you know what? A lot of these people, you know, I hear the Latinos and the African Americans, they're going to round them all up, even citizens, and deport them. Maybe. Maybe not. No one knows. I hear they're going to round up all the gays, lesbians, bis, trans, the LGBTQIA+, kill them all. That's what I hear, round them all up. But then, I sit here and I come to you, and I think it's time for me to do a video about these idiots. They are. You want the idiocracy of this country, go look at these left-wingers who claim, you know, I'm not a left-winger, okay? I've consumed too much, media because I had to listen to the Alcoholic Two Doors Down talking about how we want to pick off Trumpers, and yet they cannot touch him because, well, you know, 3 witnesses say he wants to ask people who's Trumpers so he can fight them or pick them off with a shotgun. and yet they can't do anything. Yeah, this is where the mental health system's failed. Okay, and why is our mental health system failed? Because we're supporting illegals. I mean, I had a chat with a caseworker Wednesday about Chloe. That's like, she said, if it wasn't for us funding illegals, funding wars, funding stuff that we're getting a nose into it, we could probably fund the mental health system. But then I hear Big Johnson talking about taking a blowtorch to the entire health department. Well, what happens if you take away the mental health of people? And then they turn around and they turn on all these Trumpers, no offense, and they get revenge on these Trumpers. I know Trump can call out the army, but before going and calling the army in to mow them all down, have you ever thought that, quote, unquote, you should think before you go try to take a blowtorch to someone's health care, because some people truly need medications. Think about it. I mean, look, we're in a dark time, as they say. But right now, it isn't a dark time. People are feeling it as a dark time. Yeah. People are feeling it. Yeah. But look at my family. My family says the price of groceries in Colorado is high. No, it isn't. Because if the price of groceries were high, you wouldn't be able to have head of beef in your freezer. And I'm talking whole cows, by the way, people. And 2 whole pigs. So that tells you, right? She has her son buy almost everything. Who's the one freeloading here, huh? Am I jealous? No. Who's the one freeloading? It ain't me. I'm regrouping. I'm thinking, I'm planning ahead. But do you really think these people that are advising Chloe to leave the country are smart people? They think because Chloe's transgender, her rights will be taken away. Well, if the Republicans, no offense to you MAGA out there, believe in transgender health care, transgender rights, let it be up to the states, just like abortions. Let the states pay for it out of the tax system. Then you guys don't have to worry, because the Democrats can let the states pay for it. Yeah. I mean, do I support sending $6 billion to illegally to Ukraine? I call it illegally because, frankly, it's taxpayers' money. It should be going to homeless, mental health care. I mean, if we had a mental health system that worked like it's supposed to work under the Biden administration, no one will try to take pot shots at President Trump. Plain and simple. But guess what? People say, oh, his 2 pot shot attempts. His 2 pot shot attempts as well. It is what it is, right? Yeah. So, think about it. All these people are theorizing what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Maybe, just maybe, they tightened the election and 15 million less voters, or maybe 15 million illegals. Maybe, hypothetically. Think about it. Is anyone thinking about that theory? No. Why? Because most of these left-wing radicals are predicting Project 2025, your Social Security is going to be cut. Really, I can't find any information where he's going to cut Social Security. Wow. Yeah, I had to literally do that research. I had to do it for Chloe. And then you have the old man saying he's going to cut Social Security. He's going to cut food stamps. He's going to force people to work 120 hours a week. Who knows? All I can tell you is stay with me. We're going to get through this. But we shouldn't be dwelling on the president, okay? So, I mean, my one neighbor sent me a picture last night saying, look at those eyes. He's completely the devil. That would make me think that she's the enemy within. I mean, think about it. She's calling President Trump the devil. She thinks Revelation's here. I don't know. And then you got the other neighbor who put a sword knife into the American flag and said, F America. Now, Chloe said that on live YouTube with a knife to her throat one time. 2018. But guess what? She didn't desecrate an American flag. No, this guy did. This guy is worse. This guy's a loon. A vodka drinking alcoholic loon. And yet, I have to comfort everyone and I can't grieve myself. Now, why am I grieving? I'll tell you. I'm grieving because no one's giving me a chance to grieve. I'm grieving because, to me, I need to step back, avoid the negative political dancings of the Higgins, sorry, Brother Higgins, about who won. I don't want to hear it. What I want to hear is, can we all move forward? The election's over. Can we move forward? Can we turn the page? Could we literally think of how bad these times, trying times are? Are we, is the enemy truly within people like me? No. Is the enemy truly like the crackpot that drinks excess of vodka and throws a knife in the American flag and sword? Yes. Is the enemy within someone like Nancy Pelosi? No. They're just politicians with a lot of money. Now, if you have some crime that Nancy did, throw her in jail. If you have crimes against other politicians that you can prove, throw them in jail. But don't kill them. Lining them up to a firing squad's not good. Okay, I hear all this. Oh, he's going to line up everyone. He's going to line up the elderly. Okay, I've heard this before. Okay, let me just tell you how crackpot this is by my father-in-law, which I have to hear every freaking night. He says they're going to line you up. They're going to start the massive deportation. Then they're going to round them up in camps. This is my father-in-law. It could be in Texas, right, for all we know. Could be in the Louisiana Bayou. Let me just tell you his opinion, okay? This is a guy that thinks that, he thinks Donald Trump should be toast, right, in a pine box. This is a guy who thinks his freedom of speech is more important, okay? Yes, the freedom of speech is, as long as you don't basically trigger or do a Charles Manson, and convince someone to go and kill in his name. Yeah, so that's different, okay? But I'm not saying anything of the sort. I don't conduct or condone or even support violence, okay? I'm a peaceful person. But I've also learned to be a hermit and tell people to leave me alone. Even Zoe knows this. Now, when it comes to the election, and all these people saying, oh, Project 2025, like Dad, I have to hear it every night. He's going to round up people, take them, the illegals, 25 million illegals, and kill them. When he gets done with those, if he can get away with his mass deportation or murder, then he'll start killing other people. Fortunately, how are you going to kill 25 million people? Are you going to build giant incinerators? Or are you going to just open a hole, force people to open holes and dig up holes and throw the bodies in, lie on them and let them rot naturally? Yeah. Dig a hole, throw them all in there. I mean, 25 million apparently is what my dad said. Not including once he's done with that, then within 2 to 4 years, the LGBTQIA people are going to be rounded up, killed. And when that happens, then he has nothing to do, so he may kill. This is coming from a guy who's, clearly off his rocker, who I had to deal with. Gonna round up all the elderly. Oh, by the way, when it comes to the illegals being done, he wants to go after apparently, in his opinion, before the LGBTQIA, the African Americans and the Latinos that were born in this country. Right? And then he goes after the LGBT. And when it's all done, what is left? Apparently there's only, by these left-wing radicals, the elderly. Oh, you outdid your service, so you're 99 years old. Out the door you go, right? And then what happens? Good as toast. Good as toast. Yeah, and then this is what he said. Then the Social Security's fixed. Everyone's dead. Then you got the movement with child slave laws. I mean, look, president is walking a fine line here. He's got to follow the Constitution for 4 years. When he said, "You don't have to vote for me after this election," people are construing it as he's going to be a dictator. Maybe, maybe not. Or he's saying, "Look, I can only run 2 terms in the Constitution, right? We're going to do it and try to clean up this mess." But let's just say he screws up so bad and a Democrat goes in the next 4 years from now. Then what? Then you guys are going to complain 4 years later that all this crap's fixed. Yeah. I mean, look, all the media is posting right now is the negativity of his economic plan. I don't know anything. All I know is, what I've seen in my lifetime, and it's not pretty. Think about it. Think of the long lines I've had to deal on the phone. Maybe he can fix it and tell everyone to get back to work instead of calling Social Security and have to wait 4 hours just to get a hold of someone for a new Social Security card when you're basically waiting so damn long. Yeah. But anyways, I got about 2.5 hours before I gotta leave. So, my opinion is, we'll wait and see what happens, but I'm getting tired of these left-wing media nut jobs all over saying we gotta stand up after we regroup and we gotta basically fight for democracy. Maybe. Go ahead and fight. I'd like to see what happens after January 20th before I decide to make any more things. I mean, look. For the short term, I keep hearing people say prep. Okay, I'm prepped. Got more paper towels and toilet paper coming. Shampoo and conditioner in the mail or Costco. Buying in the bulk. Why? Because I don't want to leave. No, Zoe knows I don't want to leave. Why? Because I want to see how this plays out. Yeah. But I will go weekly. I'm going to make weekly ventures and I'll tell you about it. What I go to Costco for? Bacon. Because everyone can afford bacon at Costco. You just gotta basically take the time to get the Costco card. Yeah. Now, I just want to show you guys something before I go, okay? And this one's for Zoe. So, it goes like this. Oh, and yes, I gotta harvest my wheat too, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, my little game's on, see? Now, Higgins, I gotta thank you again for recommending this tablet, so let's just go over and get my wheat harvested. Because I got this airplane that says wheat. And then I got silk I'm starting to harvest too. But anyways, yeah, you guys are sitting there going, what the heck? Yeah, exactly. So, see, I'm trying not to be distracted too much. And that's why I'm doing this video offline. Plus the fact that I don't feel like doing it live right now because of all the negative in the comments. I want moderators that understand that and respect me for what I'm doing. So that's why I'm giving you offline comments. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so Costco. All right, so currently the gas price was $3.47 today. All right, that's not bad. $3.89 for premium. All right, that's not bad at all, right? That's like 40 cents now. I don't know what diesel is. Actually, does it say I'm a diesel? So, for example, right, this is my local store. I want to show you something. Currently, right, bacon. Alright, so Kirkland's Signature Bacon says 4 1-pound bags for $16.99, you see? I mean, literally, that is a good price for 4 pounds of bacon. It's cheaper than buying it here on the island, so that's why I get bacon. And besides, if I didn't have bacon, well, here's 3 pounds right here for $12.95. So if you look at this is the actual warehouse price currently. I mean, you should see the bratwurst price. My favorite brats, 3.5 pounds of bratwurst. You're literally paying. Oh, so apparently, brats are they out of brats? I guess the $2.97 price they're out of brats. Hold on. So yeah, apparently they sold out of brats. Wow. See, they sell a lot of stuff. Yeah, hold on. Once more. Well, I guess these Kirkland sausages were so popular at $2.97. They sold out, so there you go. But I just wanted to share that. There's 3 pounds of Jimmy Dean sausage. Well, I also want to pick up some sandwich meat when I'm there next time because I have to go and do business. And that's the other thing I want to share with you, is passports, for example, right? A lot of people are saying, oh, get your passport, leave the country. Sure, go for it. Go for it. If you have the money to do it. Question is why can't you just sit back and see what's going to happen first? I mean, literally, Chloe's mom saying, oh, go to Canada. Why? What's in Canada? Are you afraid your kid's going to be rounded up, killed? That's what her mom says. My father-in-law is telling me the same thing. Why? Because you're afraid of the future. You're an insane crackpot that thinks he's going to round up all the elderly and mow them down so that he doesn't have to pay Social Security and the family gets billed for the bullet. Come on, dude. I mean, literally. These people, I think, are the enemies within. I mean, literally. They claim, look at my neighbor. She basically sitting there, right? She's like, oh, my daughter's so worried about her friends being deported from the school because they're illegally here. Well, deport them then. Do you have any sympathy? No, I don't. Because they're getting more benefits than you or I combined. So deport them. Then they can put that extra benefits into the people that need it, like grandma and grandpa, who can't get ahead because their bills are too high. Yeah. I mean, literally, think about it. So, I will do another video soon, but... Excuse me. I will do another video soon, alright? In the meantime, well, that's my opinion. All these left-wing propaganda machines, they're the enemy within, I think. And I'm seeing that from my own views. I mean, I won't watch Fox. I won't watch things that, political things anymore. Because I find the Trumpers, they have their own agenda and they want to force it on others. My opinion is I'll research what I want, but right now I don't want to research anything because I've consumed too much media. All I want to do is finish my video game watching on reviews and plan for a better future. However, I will tell you from my own experience, the Trumpers that run the grocery store here, he's just going to raise prices because he can. Now, think about it. Because it's a need. Most people, they don't want to leave the island if they don't have to. Me, I'll take my coolers and I'll go and get bacon when I need it, which is weekly. I'm going to make weekly trips, I think, starting in December to get bacon, sausage, and sandwich meats. Why? Well, at least with sandwich meat, I don't have to worry. Oh, which reminds me, before I go, that apparently the left-wing media is putting fear that we're all going to die when RFK dissolves the FDA and the USDA. Now, the USDA I'm kind of concerned about because they control the agricultural department, and they are the ones that have the orphan program for HUD, so they're the ones that pay for the subsidy. My dad was like, oh, wow, money, I didn't know that. Yeah, so if you didn't know, check out USDA RARD, Rural Assisted Rural Development. They pay for the subsidized. Now, I don't know how it works. I'm not going to sit there and say housing will be cut, but a lot of people are afraid of that too. They're afraid HUD's going to be cut too because Donald Trump wants to cut it. Now, maybe Donald Trump will say, no, we're going to turn around and we're going to build more government housing. It could work. I mean, we don't know, but all these people on the left, they're literally saying, RFK is going to take away the FDA, the USDA, no more vaccinations. Okay, well, that's fine and dandy, but children back in the day were vaccinated because it was to vaccinate them against things like mumps, measles, rubella, etc., polio. And all these people are like, oh, without the vaccines, they'll come back. Maybe not. Now, then you have these people saying, well, with the USDA, they'll cut the food stamps. Maybe not. Maybe they'll make it better. Maybe they'll get rid of all the illegals and increase people that are suffering. They need the food stamps. Have you ever thought about that? However, most food stamps are only allowed for 3 months unless you're disabled. Then it's long. Then You know, you hear the whole, oh, he's going to kill us because now they're going to deregulate meats, where a sick cow with mad cow disease will be slaughtered in the slaughterhouse, and you may eat it and end up with mad cow yourself. Possible. Who knows? These are what the left wings are talking about. And finally, the raw milk. Oh, they're going to force us to have raw milk in the grocery store. Not homogenized, pasteurized, but raw milk. Maybe, maybe not. Well, only time will tell. But I'm pulling back, I'm regrouping, I'm reconsidering thoughts, and what I'm thinking is the left wing media is getting wackier and wackier by the day ever since he won. And so, I leave you with this thought. Why do you think I don't watch TV? If you like my channel, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions, like, subscribe button, social fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, service dogs, service bunnies. Bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button. Just keep the comments nice. That's all we ask. Thank you and God bless you.